And we don't always bring up that here in this church. You know, what's the afterlife like? It seems like the present life is busy enough to take up most of the conversation, but Thanksgiving just compels me to say something about it today. So let's talk about a couple of ways it's been described, one Eastern, one Western. In the Eastern tradition, it might best be described as there are reincarnations, and these reincarnations we get deeper and deeper or better and better or something like that. And over time, over lifetimes, many lifetimes, you become clearer and clearer to the point where you reunite with the divine and you become one with God again. And this is the great ambition, the great direction of everyone's life. That's funny, that's the East. Here in the West, we go, you have this lifetime, and then you go to heaven and hell forever. And that's a long time too, you know, but you only have a little time to get it together. And so what happens to you next in the next life is predicated on what you did in this life. I doubt it's either one of those. I hope it's not. If it takes as long as the Buddha said, I mean, I don't have time, really. And I kind of doubt you wrap it all up in one lifetime. So I think you have several progressions. Just my belief. This is not unity doctrine that you have to believe this or anything like that. You know, you can still have coffee and tea with us if you believe absolutely the opposite of what I'm going to say. It's just, but I'm going to put out an idea for you today. That essentially there is another way of doing this, a way that ultimately the Eastern tradition would agree with, is that essentially that you have never really left the divine. That you are essentially operating in this world, in this experience we have here, is really just about more like a dream than it is like a fact. That essentially you and God are one, right? That whatever caused this world to happen still permeates it. That essentially all this is still inside the being of God. Inside the being of God, kind of like a thought is inside the mind. And this, you are like a thought inside the mind of God, and as such you have never left, and you're an emanation of that, and being an emanation of that, you are the same as that. It is coexistent as you. It's back to the whole ocean and the wave thing. It's that sort of thing. And what is keeping us from knowing that is the sense that we are separate. We have this profound sense of separation. And we practice being separate every day because we practice this thought that I must do something, that I am the source of my experience. I am the creator of my experience. And I'm sure you've heard me say that. But here we go. Here's another thought, another way of picturing this, is that you are not. That you are not actually doing all that much, but you're claiming it. You're claiming to be separate. You're claiming to be the source of your experience. You're the one. And so what happens out of that, I can tell you, what happens out of that is you have fear that you're not doing it or you should be doing more. You have guilt that you haven't done what you should have done. You have anger with other people that they haven't done like your will tells them they should do. Things that come from this sense of I am the doer. I'm the one doing. But the biggest one that comes out of that is this sense of separation from the divine. You're still in that deeply impressed idea that you are separate. And you're continuing the sense of separation by this I thought, I am doing this. And so we suffer. We suffer because we don't get it right. We're mad with other people. They don't do it like we want them to. We're guilty. We're tired often. We're frustrated. All these things. All that's happening to the I that's saying, I have to do this. I. But that suffering can work in your favor. Because that suffering can say to you, I got to look for another way of doing this, or this is going to be a very long journey. I need a quicker way, a more urgent way of seeing the truth. And so the trick religions have been pushing this for a long time, is to surrender. To say, not my will, but thy will be done. We can find a sense of harmony if we stop saying, well, I should be going over there, and just go with it. Be at one with everything. Let that be your experience. I am not the doer. It is happening. You have to relax. You have to just do it. You have to accept that this is going fine according to its own process. And when you have lost, this is your grace. This is your grace because it is reinforming the organism to do something differently. But that is beautiful. Without it, you have no way to advance. We're just stuck doing the same thing. So suffering is good. That should cheer you up. I mean, how much time do we waste being angry or guilty? How much energy is wasted feeling separate and alone? How well is it working for you to be frustrated with your neighbor not doing what you thought they should do? Is that working? So maybe if we don't exist as a separate entity, we could just be happy in this experience of being a human being. And it may not be 10 billion lifetimes, and it may not be one, but in this time period, we would evolve as quickly as we possibly could because we had no resistance to the evolutionary process. Just relax. Let this life unfold. Let it unfold. Trust that the intelligence that has organized your body, the most complex thing we know of, your body and your brain, can probably get your little act together without a whole lot of you getting in the way. Right? Just go along now. Little ego, little I did this. Just go along. I'll take care of this. Everything will be fine.